How did you do it? How did you succeed at this vaccination program?
Well, thank you for having me, Ern. I'm really proud to say that as we speak, we are crossing the line of 50% of the general Israeli population getting at least the first jab. I think that the main reason was to start negotiating early, understanding that we are a very small market. The moment companies will actually have the vaccine, they won't even look in our direction. So we started early. The Prime Minister, I do have to say, was actively involved in crucial stages in trying to negotiate the best dates possible. And then our medical teams, our HMOs, came into action in an incredible way. The results are that in 2 months, we reached, as I've said, about 50% of the general Israeli population. And we have to keep in mind that right now we don't have the permission from Pfizer to vaccinate kids under the age of 16. So I think it is a very impressive result.
So, Yuli, when is life back to normal in Israel? When are flights opened up to the international audience?
Well, that's the question I think I'm asked 200 times a day by my fellow Israelis. So if it's so successful, why don't we go back to normal? And
Yep.
we all have to understand that we still have a long way to go. Right now, we are cautiously opening the Israeli economy and social life, cultural life, after suffering a very serious attack of the coronavirus just during last month. And what enables us to open certain areas that we couldn't even dream about opening, like theaters or fitness centers, is what we call the Green Pass, which is a certain document certificate confirming that the person has either been vaccinated or unfortunately suffered from the disease and recovered from the disease. So all these people, we are talking at this stage about 3 million people in Israel, can use all these facilities safely. And we are continuing the vaccination. We are hoping to reach the situation where, as you said, we'll be close to normal life the way we used to know it.
Yeah, one of the hottest topics I know among friends and family is whether people will go back to the same behaviors when the pandemic does lift, or whether we'll be ingrained in some of the distancing and other types of habits that we've established. Have you had any surprises up until this point as you've vaccinated 50% of your population?
Well, the surprise, first of all, there's the psychological aspect that we just started talking about. Definitely there is this kind of a sigh of relief that comes a little bit, I would say, prematurely. People don't understand why, if they've already been vaccinated, they still have to wear masks, so they still have to keep social distancing, which in a country like Israel is very difficult. You know, we are warm, we want to embrace, we want to get close to each other. And so the psychological aspect is not easy. Mm-hmm. But there's also, I think, in terms of it's not a surprise, it's a fact. There is something that we have to keep in mind. The vaccine is very effective. We just had the research that shows the effectiveness of the vaccine. But if we are talking about, let's say, 100 people, all of them vaccinated in a certain event, out of them, five or six are surely not reacting to the vaccine. So the danger is always there, and that's what we are trying to explain to people. Right. Let's go back to normal, but very cautious.
Mr. Edelstein, your stature within Israeli politics and your history with Israeli politics forces the diplomatic question. There is a transition in Washington from Trump to Biden. What does Israel need or expect from President Biden?
Well, I think that we have all the reasons to believe that President Biden will keep the tradition of different American administrations, Republican and Democratic, that we're good friends of Israel. We sometimes had our nuances and different opinions on certain subjects, but I did have the personal pleasure of hosting President Biden in my previous capacity as the Speaker of the Knesset, and he's as Vice President of the United States. He is a good friend. He's knowledgeable about Israel, and I don't have any reasons to be worried. I think that we will have to continue working with the American administration on different issues, and It's
Well,
our best interest. And you know what? I'll dare say it's also an American interest.